Found him. Nuclear Cadillo. Cadillo. Crazy dude. It's so funny to mess with him.
Is this the guy with the hat and the headphones in that picture?
Yeah, and that's what he looks like. I'm like, bro, like
Oh, that's rough.
literally,
You
yeah.
should not be talking.
I've never even like given my phone number to anyone that even looked close to you. Like I've never ever talked to anyone like you.
Oh my god.
Hey, what's up, guys? Let me know if you can hear me well. Um, I plugged in my headphones directly to my Rodecaster, so some things might have changed, but hopefully you guys can hear me. Everything's good. Uh, also, you guys hear this?
Howdy, fellas.
It has been a challenging mating season for Bird Person.
Does that come through? Anyways, today I wanted to talk about uh, there's a lot of debates and now I wouldn't say debates, but disagreements, right? Debates require people to stand up on a podium and waste their time trying to convince someone else of something. I say it's more like it's a disagreement or a plant their flag in the ground or ego investment or whatever. Okay, cool. So so you can hear the stuff on the sound effects. Can you hear it? What is it saying?
Howdy, fellas.
You guys hear that? Um, I I believe that in these disagreements, I'm not saying that's choose a side or not choose a side, but I'm saying we kind of miss the point of trading notes and trying to get to the bottom of this like reproductive problem that we have. And one of the things that is a big disagreement is how you meet women and ask them on dates, like the filtering process and all that stuff. And it's interesting because I always thought that the point of all this dating talk was to get laid. But remember, now we're entering into the I have to be right. My way is the right way, and if it's not the right way, uh, then then I'm stupid. Like I literally don't know what I'm talking about. So my way has to be the right way. And there's different versions of this. There's like, hey, city dating versus dating out in rural areas. There's dating like the age gap. There's so many things that people have so much contention about. And I get it. Some of them it's because it's an inconvenient truth to your biology. Some of it's because of skill issue. And I think for the dating versus women meeting women in real life debate, I think it is a skill issue a lot of the time, but it's also ego investment into something where, yeah, you may have had a bad experience with one or several bad experiences with one, and you may have done pretty well with the other. But if there are still men having success the way that you haven't had success just because of whatever reason, maybe reasons we don't even know, should we tell or advise or talk about how other men shouldn't do it the way that didn't work for you? I think that's a little unfair. I think that if you found a way to meet women and it works for you and everything's going okay and you're satisfied, then what's the problem? Right? What is the issue here? And the issue tends to be that a lot of people um, are ego invested into their own beliefs. Um, you'll have all types of people talking about this, like dating coaches, embittered men and women, of course, average internet Joes, whoever. They want to put all their eggs into one basket on how to meet women. Like, oh, it's dating apps, or oh, it's meeting in real life. It's like just being internet famous and going somewhere. Oh, or it's DMing women randomly this way. And the thing is, like, sure, if it works for you, but what works for you may not work for someone else, or it may be inconvenient, or they've already had a method that already works for them, and if it working for them, why would they change it? So it's essentially becomes, uh, like, be like me, it worked for me, because they need their ego investments validated by the internet. And for me, I'm just like, hey, dude, if you doing something is working, then do that. Like, there's no reason to stop doing what works, right? Even if I haven't done well in it, or I no longer do well in it. I think it's a little unfair to tell people not to do those things, right? I think it's men's ego and their self-worth is wrapped up in their ability to get women. Like, guys that are good with women, they're either shamed really, really, a lot, or they're kind of lauded as a hero or as a legend. It's like one or the other. But people do talk about men that get a lot of women. They are definitely noticed in society. Uh, I think another thing. So when men fail, uh, and it could be social circles, it could be online dating or cold approach, or whatever way, uh, they're convinced themselves that the system they're operating is broken, not themselves. Not, hey, they don't think, well, if other people are having success who are not anymore much different than me, they don't think to say, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I should go ask for help. Maybe I should go look up something. Instead, they say, no, it's broken, or they start self-deprecating, like, I'm ugly, I'm stupid, or the women in my city, or the women here, or the women there, and the women whatever. And it's difficult because that's just you're doing two things. You have a victim mindset, and number two, you're self-deprecating. You don't think that you don't think you have it in you to win at something. And number three, you're putting down other men that figured it out. And instead of getting mad at the world or yourself, or your fellow man, take some notes. Ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? And yes, there's a lot of bad information out there, but sometimes getting out of your head and your ego will help you a little bit. I'm not saying that they have the sauce or the secret. There's a lot of things. There's a lot more variables than good pictures on a dating app, or there's a lot more variables than having hot friends and having them being introduced to you. Like, there's more to this, and there may be things you're missing, and that takes time and self-reflection, and getting over your ego to see these things. Uh, so yeah, there's also the fear of rejection. Like, if there's guys that they're afraid to, like, cold approach women, and that's totally understandable. It's terrifying, but the fact that some men have done it and are okay at it, or some men have gotten some value out of it, it's just like, it makes them feel like that guy has more balls than me. So the defense mechanism is saying, like, hey, no. The most common one is like, oh, you're just approaching easy women, or sluts, but in reality, it's just normal women, or it's whatever other excuse they use. Like, if you're cold approaching, or you're just talking to random women when you're out and about, or something, whatever you want to call it, uh, you're exposing to other men. If you share notes online, you're exposing to other men the fear of being their own fear of rejection, and realizing that they're not good with women. And that's very interesting. That's a very interesting thing, and men have to really get over this. And a lot of the times, if you dig deeper, even still, they are jealous, or at least feel incompetent next to a man that takes rejection on the nose or on the chin, right? So, for some reason, guys, men want to put down other men that show them like that are mirrors to other men, right? With Senor Castillo with the $9.99. Oh, thank you, sir. You get one of these.
Thank you so much, best friend.
All right, Senor Castillo with the $24, or sorry, Senor Castillo 24 with the $9.99 super chat. Any chance to review possible RP fiction? What do you mean? Like, did you write RP fiction, or am I writing RP fiction? Let me know what you mean by that. Okay, so while Senor Castillo is clarifying that, where was I? Okay, so yeah, we're basically a mirror. A guy that isn't afraid of rejection is a mirror to other men, saying, "Hey, I have more balls than you." Right? So those men that feel inadequate or feel like you've excelled in something, they're too afraid to even start. They have a defense mechanism, and that is to tell you that whatever you're doing is immoral, or it's, you're targeting easy targets anyway, blah blah blah, right? The whole thing. Um, so we can talk about the negatives of each way of meeting women, right? And I've kind of like divided it into three things, and it's just dating apps, social circles, and cold approach, really. And when I say cold approach, I don't mean like you wearing a suit down the street and talking and having that goal, right? Like that's more of like a very boot camp setting, kind of you setting out to like really talking about your day-to-day life. Like you're sitting down out on a patio having coffee, and there's a cute girl on her laptop sitting next to you, or you're walking down the street and a girl comes up to your dog and says, "Hey, um uh cute dog," and then you strike up a conversation. I don't know if that counts as cold approach, but to me, it's just chatting up women in public. That we'll say that for now, chatting up women in public. So, yes, Senor Castillo 24. Yes, you can DM me. DM me on Twitter if you have Twitter. DM me on Twitter. So, all right. So every way has its downside. Like, let's not. So first off, we have to talk as a guy. If you're going to choose a way or mix and match or whatever your ways of meeting women, we have to talk about what are the downsides, because you have a lifestyle, you have a personality, you have maybe a job that is very highly visible, or maybe you have a small town, so you can't move a certain way because you don't want two girls that you're dating to meet each other or whatever. Just so many. Every guy has a different lifestyle, so many walks of life. So I cannot choose for you what's best for you. You have to choose. However, I can highlight the negatives and the positives of each way of meeting women. So dating apps, they're psychologically draining. Let's be honest. Dating apps, you can swipe a whole night, or you can go 3 days without getting any matches, and then boom, you'll get 3 matches one day. It's that churn marketing where the algorithm kind of like pushes you through the top and then drops you down, pushes you through the top and drops you down. I think Hinge does that or something, where you get a really good match or two, and then for a couple days you get nothing, or whatever, or you get bad matches or whatever you get. And that could be psychologically draining, because you will you if you let the app decide for you that you're attractive or not, you're going to kind of depend on the apps, you getting matches on as like validation in a way. Because if you don't get any matches, the thoughts start creeping in your head, like, man, maybe I am ugly, or maybe I am, unattractive, right? And then you take that same energy out in public, and you feel, you already in your head, you're like, I'm not attractive. You let those thoughts seep in, and there's a girl or two that's noticing you and that wants you to talk to them. You see what I'm saying? Like, be careful with that. You need to be psychologically strong enough to know that being rejected on dating apps is not a real rejection, right? It's not a real rejection. And that's the problem. That dating apps don't build resiliency with rejection. Dating apps don't build anything but, maybe a false sense of ego or something like that. So keep that in mind. The problem with dating apps isn't that you get rejected hundreds of times because it's not a real rejection. It's because you don't feel the sting of rejection enough. The sting of rejection is good for you because it like keeps your ego in check. You harden up so when future girls reject you or say something you don't like lose your cool. And dating apps will never be able to provide that, right? Dating apps will never be able to provide that. So that's the downside. The psychological draining of you're being psychologically drained, right? You're being manipulated by an app because it's your self-worth involved in whether you get matches or not. And sometimes you really believe it and it's not really true. You do cover a vast expanse of women over time, which is good. You know, if you're out meeting women and have a social life, you'll meet like maybe 3 women a week, 4 viable women a week if you have a very, very active social life. But with dating apps, you have hundreds of women that are cycled through and you're covering more ground. On top of that, when I say covering more ground, you can change demographics. I think Hinge, you don't have to pay, but on Tinder, you do. You can change demographics. What you like by age, race, um, location, whatever, and that will change a lot of what you see. So that's covering more ground, right? If you like white girls or black girls or Asian women or Indian women, whatever you like, it used to be that you have to go to where they go, like and if you wanted Latinas, for example, you needed to go where the Latinas go. But now with dating apps, you can just filter for those things, and boom, you'll be shown them. So there's that. That's a huge. That's the best, if not one of the best, pros to dating apps. Uh, okay, we talked about churn marketing. Uh, the quality of dating apps is not really good right now. There's so many bot accounts, and here's a problem: um, you'll have a blue check yourself, and you can decide, hey, if any account that interacts with me or that's shown to me needs to be verified, right? Like blue check verified or something. But what happens is you're leaving out a lot of women that haven't done that step yet or don't want to do that step yet. So yes, you're kicking out all the bots, but also maybe like 33% of women or so that haven't gotten that blue check yet. So you're like forced either to click only verified profiles and lose out on a whole bunch of women, being shown a lot of women, or you can not do that and then have to deal with bots, OnlyFans accounts, and all that stuff, right? Because Tinder really what Tinder is an OnlyFans marketing app, which is sad because how do these people make money? It's kind of embarrassing and they just don't seem to care. I don't know. We have all this technology, but we can't decipher whether a person is a fake profile or not. Besides, hey, take a picture of yourself into the phone. You know. So, yeah. We got a $5 from Alex Patino.
Thank you so much, best friend!
Walter Patino 7 with the $5. Since the days of MySpace, I noticed all the girls were bots. When all of them were doing the same movement with their tatas, we had bots from the start. That's funny. Yeah, well, they're herd animals. They operate on consensus. So yeah, and yeah, X Runner, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get on why we just don't do all of them, right? Uh, so yeah, then you have the pay to play mechanics to make like, hey, if you pay this tier you get this, and if you pay this tier you get this and this, right? And it just feels like you're being screwed over for money. And my thoughts have always been, I think I tweeted about it, like, if you're getting 0 matches, don't pay. Something's really wrong with your profile. Go fix it, right? Fix it and wait until you get in some good matches without being, because the app will give you matches if you're not paying. Like, they're not allowed to promise that you're not in some kind of like pool of dating and operate the app, right? However, if you're getting some matches and things are going okay, pay for the premium version of the dating app you're on. Like, sure, right? It'll probably get you a little bit better. You'll deal with less bots and whatever, right? If you're getting some matches. When I say some, I mean enough where you can get like one date a week or one date every 2 weeks, right? Why not pay, see how it goes, give it 3 months, and then if you're getting lots of matches and you're not paying for premium, then don't pay for premium. You're already getting enough. You're already like paying for premium isn't going to get you hotter women, right? You already somehow are in the right place at the right time. Algorithmically, damn it, I used to be able to say that word perfectly. Algorithmic, algor, you know what? Forget it. You guys know what I mean. But those are my thoughts on paying for the apps. But yes, it is. It just feels pay to play, right? It's like a bad video game where you got to pay for stuff, and it's up to you. If you feel like you're getting scammed and you can't defend you paying for this, then I get that too. That's it's your money, of course. But those are my suggestions on whether you should pay or not. So yeah, and those are all legit concerns. Like I said, there's pros and cons. Some guys swear by dating apps because it's just easy. Like you just sit at home and swipe, and yeah, you're not gonna get a lot of maybe the hottest girls. A lot of guys say this: the hottest girls you'll meet will be social circle and being introduced and all that stuff. And I kind of agree. While I have had absolute beautiful women on Tinder and Hinge, right? Like beautiful women that you know I'm like, wow, I can't believe I pulled that off. Wow, right? Uh, in real life, I've the highest percentage of hot women have been in real life because of a friend introduced me to a friend, and take that for what it's worth. That's my experience. I could be wrong. You guys could have different experiences, but that's just my experience, right? So, yeah, these are all legit concerns. So, these are the things that I've noticed, and with social circles, there's concerns for those too. But first, let's take a break. Let's take a break. All right, so let's talk now about social circles, right? This is your you go to a salsa night, you say hi to everyone, you have a meetup with people, pickleball tournament, or uh, some group activity that you do together, or you go to the dog park and meet everyone and become friends. Whatever you do to socialize and start forming a social group and meeting people through that way, right? Or yeah, like rock climbing, that works too. So what's the issue with social circles? Sounds fun. Like, what's the issue? Because everyone's having fun. You're meeting people in real life. It seems like a healthy experience, but there is downside. Just like there is no perfect system, and the downside for social circles is you sometimes have to walk on eggshells. And what do I mean by that? Well, uh, so if you are in a social circle and you hook up with a girl, right? What is the most important thing to a woman? And her reputation, right? So after you've had sex with a girl within a social circle, right? You now hold the key to ruining her reputation by saying, saying things about her, right? Your experience with her. And as much as nice as some women have been in social circles with me, where I've hooked up with them and they continue to be very nice and respectful to me and all that stuff, it still felt like, holy shit, we're playing this game where we're pretending nothing happened. And as a guy, whatever, you're getting laid, who cares? But it still feels like weird because you might be like, hey, so how do we break this to people, or do you want to be public? Or you start talking about terms, not about sex, but about how to protect her reputation. Because as a guy, if everyone finds out you bang somebody, that just makes you look good. But for a woman, and she has to protect her reputation. So that's something you have to deal with as a guy. You can't just bang a girl and be like, "Ha ha, everyone, guess what I did." You have to shut up about it. And not only that, when you're around her in that social circle, you got to act like nothing happened, or she's going to be constantly trying to treat you like a boyfriend, or like being public with it. I just found out like a couple weeks ago that there was a girl that told everyone I was her boyfriend for a while. Someone just told me that, and I had no idea. So these are the things that in social circles that guys don't think. They're like, "Oh, it's healthy. It's better than dating apps." I'm like, "It's not better. It's different. There's different downsides. If you're doing social circle game, right, and you hook up with the chick is not thinking, 'I'm awesome for hooking up with this guy.' She's thinking, 'Who knows? Who knows that I hooked up with this guy, and who could find out, and what repercussions?'" And that's why I say, like, um, whenever you do hook up with a girl within a social circle, talk terms. Like, be open and be like, "Hey, we just had sex. I enjoyed, that was fun. But do you want to keep quiet? Do you want to just act like nothing happened? What, and see what she says." And I had to talk with a woman, and basically it was like, "Hey, uh, let's just, don't tell anyone." She just said, "Don't tell anyone." And she didn't even tell her best friend. That's what she said. I don't know. I don't believe that, but that's what she said. And, we continued to see each other and all that stuff. And I don't think anyone caught on, really. Um, but some people did, actually, eventually. And because in in the social circle I'm talking about, it was the dance scene. And Hispanic women are very passionate women sometimes, especially non-ratchet normal ones that have normal jobs. They're very passionate women, right? So they drink sometimes, life gets hard, and they dance with you, and that physical connection after, when she's seeing you naked and you've seen her naked, kind of, it sometimes it's hard for people not to be like, those two, they're dancing a little bit too good or too connected right now. Maybe to the outsider you won't notice, but people in the scene will notice and like, those two. And there were situations where I had to, like, we've been dancing like 2 songs, 3, and I had to be like, "Hey, let's take a break," because if we're dancing with each other all night, then someone might find out, someone might suspect something, right? And she's like, "Okay, you're right." And that's what I'm saying, guys. It becomes a second job because now you're protecting her reputation. Because if you don't protect your reputation, you don't get laid anymore. That's social circle for you. So yeah, we got a 4.99, sir. You get one of these.
Jesus answered, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." $6 shrimp special!
K-Dog 8887 with the 4.99. Got engaged and my girl got me a band to wear. I thought it was a good idea to wear a ring as well. Not sure now because we aren't married. Thoughts? What do you mean by a band? And what do you mean got engaged and my girl got me a band to wear? I thought it was as a good idea to wear a ring as well. Not sure now because we aren't married. Thoughts? I don't know, dude. I don't think that's important at all, what you wear. So maybe I'm not understanding your question. There's always the issue here, guys, is that's what you're dealing with in a social circle. And I know it's just like raining on everyone's parade, but I got to prepare. I got to share notes. I got to tell you, this is what happens. We all know that women's reputation is number one, right? They protect it like we protect our balls, right? So if if you threaten that, even if she's having a good time with you, she'll leave the social circle forever. And even if you did nothing wrong, she will leave the social circle. Like she will leave behind. She was like, I'm not going there anymore because I hook. And women do this on a larger scale. Like they'll leave cities to go to another city because they've ruined their reputation in the old city. Like they've banged too many dudes and messed with the wrong dudes and broke up with the wrong dudes and stuff. And they're like, I got to get out of here. Um, so yeah. Um, what was I saying? Okay. So yeah, that's social circle for you. Um, and then also you may have to be the one to leave the social circle too. It's not only her. Like you may have you may have she may have tarnished your reputation out of like guilt, or she may have been like try to like ruin your reputation. Obviously, there's some women that might boost it, like, hey, this guy's great in bed, and you might bang more chicks, right? But it's always a risk. You don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen, so just take it as it comes. If you do decide to use social circles to meet women and all that stuff. So another thing that you guys probably have dealt with in social circles is male jealousy. You're getting close to a girl, you're starting to spend more time with her alone, and guys that want her haven't made a move yet or have been rejected in the past are getting jealous. They start getting in the way of you. Um, they start getting in the way of you talking to this girl, right? And jealous men who aren't good with women, man, there's no like low point to what they're willing to do to make sure you don't sleep with a woman. Right. And it can be not only jealous men, it could be like her friends. Her friends are jealous of the attention she's getting. So you have to practice a level of discretion that it's almost like you're cheating on a girl because you don't want anyone to find out. That's the level of discretion you have to have in a social circle. Um, so be careful and just don't think it's some kind of like better than the other thing. It's just basically, hey, this presents different problems. This presents different problems. And one of the these are things that you have to figure out how you're going to deal with, right? Like for one, I would say, hey, be as quiet and discreet as you can when meeting women in social circles, right? Like super quiet, discreet, don't mouth off. Don't even, there have been times, I remember hooking up with this girl in college, this white girl in college. And I, she was one of those, she was kind of loosey goosey, like I think like most guys would have had a chance with her, but she had a thing for me. Um, and she DM'd me one night saying, hey, come over. You want to just watch a movie? And, I was a little bit more naive, more innocent back then. I was like 21 or something. And I was like, sure. And I I didn't have my car, so I had no way to go see her, and there was no like Uber back then. So what I did was I told a friend to drop me off at a friend's house because I was gonna do I needed a ride because I was gonna do a group project for a class. And he was a very good student himself, getting up about to start his master's degree and all that stuff. So I was like, he's like, yeah, so supportive. Like, cool. Let's get you help so you can let's get you there so you can get good grades and all that stuff. So right. So he drops me off. He doesn't. No one, and then no one knows where. No one knows where I'm at. Right. No one knows that that I'm being dropped off at this girl's house. That's how secret I wanted to keep it. And I enjoyed myself and I hooked up. And it wasn't until 2 months later that um someone asked me and I couldn't hold it in anymore. I said, yeah, I am hooking up with her. But um I don't remember. Everything's fuzzy after that. I don't know what happened, but that has been my policy from now on, in social circles. What is to always shush, keep it discreet, and protect her reputation at all costs. If you do that, you'll do fine. Yes, there's going to be male jealousy. Yes, there's going to be people spreading rumors. She may even spread a rumor. Hopefully, the good kind. But it's just lead with discretion. Let her know early on, hey, your secret's safe with me. and let her crash out, or let her help you, or let her whatever. Like, it's up to her. But just discretion is key in social circles. Make sure you lead with that. All right. Cold approach. All right. So, or meeting women in public places. Let's take one more break, and let's take a break, and then we'll go on to cold approach. Well, let's now let's do the same. All right, guys. So we're going to talk about cold approach now, or meeting women in public places. Approaching women in public places. So the thing with cold approach is that it requires time and effort. You have to go where the hot women are. This isn't like social circle where you already have a set location where you kind of know there's going to be women, or what women are going to be there. And effort, meaning that you're not going to be introduced to people. You have to introduce yourself. You have to build status and value quickly in conversation yourself. There's that. I think the hardest part is the grind of rejection can get you down. What I would say with approaching, and I think Troy Francis talks about that. It talks about this, is that make sure that you let her know early in the interaction that you are interested in taking her out. Because if sometimes sometimes you forget to ask for a number, that you're so focused on the great interaction you're having, and that your fear is just evaporated because she's so kind and nice. And now you forget to close, or forget to finish the job. Sometimes you do ask for the number, but you don't. You came across as so friendly and harmless when you're talking to her, and not forward and flirty, that she just feels like, oh, like she didn't feel right. It's like women respect boldness in men, right? And if you're not bold in the beginning, and I'm not saying you have to say something crazy. Obviously, you don't want to get in trouble. You don't want her to think you're a complete creep, but you can't be like super friendly, like her girlfriend either. So that's one of the things guys need to understand. Like, the approaching women in public, try to be flirty and kind of have a goal in mind. Hey, I want to take you out. Say, obviously there's things you should say or shouldn't say, and it takes practice, right? I think the majority of what you're going to learn when you're doing this is that you're not going to die if you get rejected. The fear response, you're just getting over the fear of approaching people and knowing when and how to approach them, and what's a good moment, right? Someone that looks like they're in a rush, maybe not. Or someone that it looks like they're doing an activity, you're not going to break through the activity and be like, hey, I saw you from across the park. That doesn't work. But if you see a girl on a bench just minding her own business, then sure. Or if a girl comes in your vicinity, then yes, approach. But for the most part, don't think that it's going to be like cold approach. You have to hold back, right? Like, cold approach, discretion is key. Sorry, social circle, discretion is key. But meeting women in public, you have to be a little bit more forward. She's not in your social circle. She doesn't know you. She probably never see you again if she rejects you. So there's not a lot of stakes. So you can let loose a little bit. And I think the worst part of meeting of approaching women in public is the rejection. and that varies by location. A rejection at a coffee shop is not the same as a rejection in a club. Women, when they reject you in a club, are tend to be meaner, more catty, or more dismissive, whereas in a coffee shop, very respectful. And it could be the same women, right? Women act differently based on the environment they're in. And women at a family barbecue that you meet is going to be much sweeter, nicer. That doesn't mean she's going to say yes. It doesn't mean that she will take your number and then reject you later. Right, but it's going to be a less scathing or a less, it's going to be a more dignifying rejection than a girl at a nightclub or a girl somewhere else. So, yeah. Uh, so guys, essentially, uh, there is no perfect system, right? And this is what I was trying to get at. Yes, we talked about ups and downs. Uh, Dating apps cover a lot of ground. Easy, you just sit on your toilet or sit at home and swipe, swipe, swipe. Social circles, you meet hotter women. They fall into your lap. You already have that pre-selection because a girl introducing you to another girl is already showing pre-selection and all that stuff and trust. Um, and uh, cold approach women in public. You harden up to rejection. You have that confidence. You build. It's a confidence builder if you have a good reaction. Good interaction, and essentially you're doing the impossible. You're doing what every man on this planet is afraid to do, and that's approach hot women. And if you can do that, you're in a separate league of men on this planet. Really, like guys will do literally anything not to approach a woman, not to face rejection. They will do. They will build society. They will do anything. They will do anything to avoid rejection. And here you are facing it and expecting it and dealing with the emotional turmoil after a girl tells you no. So, yeah, guys, but again, there's downsides. Dating apps fuck with your head. They make you feel unattractive, even though I can't tell you how many times in the past I've had bad luck on a dating app or something, and then I go out and I'm amazed that a girl wants me to like take her out on a date. And that's what happened. I did dating apps so much in 2021 through 2023 and some of 2024. I did dating apps so much that I kind of forgot how it was to meet women in public and talk to them. And I had to like recalibrate pretty quickly. And I'm like, hey, I could have 0 matches for weeks, but if a girl at a bar or at a salsa night or at up the park or wherever wants to talk to me and is flirty and is receptive, she likes you, dude. Okay? She likes you. You let the dating apps decide how attractive you are. So a lot of guys really think that dating apps like show you how attractive you are. And it's low investment. And you're not doing much. You're just swiping. You're not burning calories or anything. Social circle, you're walking on eggshells. The work is protecting her reputation, and you may have to leave the social circle, or she will, and she'll take all her connections and all the fun stuff with her, and you're left with whoever's left in the social circle. But you get kind of introduced to better women or hotter women than dating apps usually. So there's that, and then the final one is a cold approach, where the downside is that it takes a lot out of you to get rejected. You have to go up to a place where there's hot women and it wears you out emotionally. It takes time. You have to take an whole afternoon to go talk to women at a shopping center or at a Target. I mean, like the way I see it is this: is that finding targets every day seems to be a bit more difficult because people are more distracted and more kind of looking at their phones in the clicks and all that stuff. Like I remember I would approach girls here at my own pool. And yeah, I've had success, but like it just seems now when people at my pool, everyone is in their own clique, tightly knit. No one's like reaching out and making friends and all that stuff as much. Everyone's becoming more cliquish. So there's that. We got a $10 from Fred Jacobs. Sir, you get one of these.
Thank you so much. Best friend.
Fred Jacobs 3074 with the $10. Thank you, sir. My boy took 6 months and just went out in public chatting up literally everyone he could not be stopped after that. Almost became too forward sometimes, but he has so many fun stories. Yeah. And that's the thing, guys. I was gonna get to that, Fred, but there's some secret upsides. There is absolute secret upsides to each thing that no one has talked about, and you beat me to it. We're gonna talk about upsides to each, that are, the kind of like the secret ones that no one talks about and all that stuff. So yeah. Um yeah. We're okay. Well, thanks for the $10. So yeah, it's harder than you think to get rejected because first off, women, when you say reject, I'm just assuming like you mean, hey, sorry, I got a boyfriend, or hey, I'm not interested, or whatever, or no thanks, or whatever. But like, you'll be surprised how desperate women are to be approached. That's one of my big surprises when I stopped doing dating apps so much and I started just approaching women just for fun, just to see. And um a lot of them are more receptive than you think, and they just can't believe that a guy actually approached them. Because most guys they're not being approached. Like there's articles being written about this stuff. Men aren't approaching anymore. And they're like, men will say, well, it's because we're afraid to get in trouble with the law, or I'm like, no, that's not what we're that's not why. It's because women are just not worth to men the rejection anymore, the constant rejection. They don't feel like they measure up, right? Um, and the only people that suffer from this are women, because now women are just like, okay, well, bitter TikTok women on the internet have convinced other women, or convinced men, that they suck at everything and that they're not good enough for women. So a lot of guys are just like, yeah, that looks stressful. I'm just going to stay home and not, socialize or anything. And you can be that sociopath that goes out and says hello to a woman and change the game and make her day. Either way, if 99% chance, if you say hello to a girl and spit game at her, you are going to be the most exciting part of her day. But almost 100% sure, unless she's like jumping out of a plane that day or something, you're going to be the most exciting thing that happened. She'll mention in the group chat. Even if she turns you down, she'll be like, "Wow, a guy really approached me." And just think of it like that. Think of it like, "Hey, um, you have your job on this planet isn't to sacrifice for women or give them free stuff or whatever. Your job is to entertain them." And a lot of guys don't like that. We're like, "I'm not a clown." I'm like, "Well, dude, um, I would prefer to my job to make women smile, laugh, uh, entertain them, and make them orgasm from time to time than be a plow horse that gets sex once a month, right? I'd rather be the former and not the latter. But that's just me. All right, it's thank you for the $2 super.
Thank you so much. Best friend.
Hey, Filthy Casual 58 with the $2. Thumbs up to you, sir. Thank you, I appreciate it. All right. So like I was saying, guys, there's no perfect system. Everything is contingent where you live, the culture around you, and who you are, man. Uh certain things matter, right? Like I can't just say, "Hey, dating apps, this or this." Like you could have a very public job where maybe dating apps isn't the right thing for you. Um, or you may say, I can't go out and talk to women publicly too much because in my neighborhood, because I want to build good connections here. Like I want to make friends. I don't want to be that guy that creepy guy that just like talks to every woman in front of him in his neighborhood. Maybe you need like I don't feel like driving to another neighborhood. I'm gonna do Tinder and then break into some social circles and go from there. Right, build trust that way and all that. That's up to you. Right, every guy is different. If anyone is telling you that one way is better than the other, maybe they're just trying to validate their own failures or their own fears. Every method, like I said, it has its drawbacks. The only thing that matters is this: does it work for you or does it not? That's all that matters. Nothing more, nothing less. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. That's very nice of you. But yeah, X Runner. Yeah, most of when I saw skydiving went tandem. Yeah, go figure, right? Uh, I just want you guys to know that whatever you guys try, you'll never run out of women, right? I'm 36 and I get more attention from women now than ever. Yes, okay. Let me fix that. I got a lot of attention in 2021 through 2024 when I was doing the dating apps, right? Like a lot of attention. Like I made it on a page where are we dating the same guy? Dallas page, right? Um, are we dating the same guy? Superstar. My post was up there for 10 weeks on one of these pages. It was insane. But at the same time, I was working really hard. I was putting in overtime. I was going on lots of dates. If a girl called me at 1 a.m. that wanted to see me, I would go. I would plan 2 dates in a day. Like I was putting in work. Now at my age, right? Um, I'm getting a lot more attention for much less effort. I got more attention in 2021, but now I'm getting attention, but with almost zero effort. Besides, hey, this is my friend. Oh, hi, how are you doing? Or just going outside and going for a walk or something. It just seems more effortless now. It just seems like women are the ones kind of like doing, trying a little bit more, and it's women of all ages. I'll go to an anime party, and the 22-year-old girl dressed as I don't know what I don't remember. It's been a while since I've been to one. The 22-year-old girl dressed as an anime character is still sipping her drink, staring at me like this while I'm dressed as Cloud. Obviously, the cosplay does a lot of work. It's have a look on steroids, right? Sipping her drink, looking at me like this, just staring at me with a smirk. You know the smirk that women do when they're checking you out across the room and they're sipping. Like she's probably super drunk at that point, but and then I go to the coffee shop down the street, and the more mature Georgian lady there is, I don't know their customs and how they treat strangers, but we have a pleasant conversation, and she just treats me like really nice, and I'm like, okay, maybe she does it for everyone. I don't know, but it just seems like every female I interact with in real life is slowly getting nicer and nicer to me over time, or more feminine around me. I don't know what it is, right? And I don't want you guys to think reading some Radfem's post or some bitter chick on Twitter saying, or Pat Stedman or Homath or any of these people that say, hey, once you turn 34, 35, 36, 37, it's all over. You're like, you cannot convert all this new female attention into anything. It's all over. You're too stupid. There's a wall. You hit the wall. Meanwhile, I'm just like, listen, how can there be a wall? I fell from a ladder and I got up. What fucking wall? How many times are we gonna do this? You know what I knew? I hit the wall. If I would have fallen off that ladder and I would have woken up the next day in the ER with a thing attached to like an IV, right, and a heart monitor, and my dick didn't work. That's how I know. Oh, okay, time to call it quits. I'm cooked. I'm done. But when I fell from the ladder at 36 years old, I got up immediately and I walked to the bathroom 15 minutes later, cleaned my face off, went back to work with a broken finger. I had no idea, right? And then I continued to work for a month with a broken finger. Decided, hey, I'm gonna go to the doctor, get checked out. And she said, hey, you need to get an X-ray. I waited 10, 11 more days to get my surgery because they found that my finger was broken. And after that, I was still able to go to the gym. I just had to modify my workout because I didn't have grip strength in my left hand. Couldn't close my hand very well. And these women trying to tell me that we're hitting the wall. Bro, we're still machines at 36. I'm nothing special. I'm not a kung fu master or a martial arts master. I'm not a combat veteran or like, a war hero. I'm not a firefighter, policeman. I'm a regular dude. All I did was lift and take care of myself and my health. And I got up from a ladder after I fell. And these women want to tell me that it's all over for me at my age. Do you understand how insane that is? How people tell you that it's all over? I'm tired of that shit. I really am. Yeah, and like a filthy casual is saying here, like my worry was like shit. I hope no one saw me walk around this hallway with a bloody face, because that it would have a lot of questions would have been asked, and 911 would have been called, blah blah blah. And that's how men are. So at the end of the day, we're machines, right? We're machines. We're tough. We're tougher than you think. We can power through things. And you know one of the things that you can power through the most? Haters. People that say that it's all over for you. That if you don't marry young and get the girl young, then it's all over. I'm like, no. No. The day I fall off a ladder or hurt myself and I wake up in a hospital bed, like a car hit me or something, then I know, hey, it's time to like chill. I think I'm done here. I think I hit the wall as a man. I think I have to focus on not dying for the rest of my life. But we're machines. And I think that's a good healthy mentality to have as a man, But that's just me. So there are secret benefits that we haven't talked about in all of this. And I would say the secret benefit of social circles and having female friends, introduce you to other friends and all that stuff is that you get to see the best of women. And that's one of the things that I didn't realize about social circle. Like this dating stuff is going to wear you out as a guy. The content, you're going to see women saying the worst things, and other ones, like chopped man, we're all ugly, chopped man epidemic, right? All these mean things about men and all that. And it's going to wear you out psychologically. It may not be in one day, it might take months, but eventually you're just going to get to a point where like, man, women really don't like me anymore. I get it. You win. You guys don't like me. All right. I don't know how many times you want to say it, but all right, I get it. And then you'll go to your hangout spot or your whatever you go to your social place, and your female friend will be there, and she'll give you a hug and she'll ask you how you're doing, and she'll get you some water if it's like a physical activity or a salsa night, and she'll be lighthearted and giddy and and all that, and you realize like, wow, what a nice person, what a nice interaction I'm having with this person. Right. And that's one of the secret things about social circle that I love the best, because me being in this, making this content and in this niche, right. And me having to deal and interact with like some of the weirdest women on planet Earth, right. Women that like to discuss intersexual dynamics on the internet. You kind of get frustrated. You're like, how could a person even think like that? How do they get away with this? And I know most TikTok is just performative, right. All this stuff is performative. But then, even in your own dating life, you see women do crazy, shitty shit, right? So one of the things that having a normal dating, having a normal social circle or friend group or whatever is that you get to see women on their best behavior and be good people. And from time to time, you need that. And when I post my something whatever something post when I'm at my bachata dance nights. All those women there are super nice, very, very polite. They open up, and even if I don't know them, they're super nice. They'll all give me hugs. They'll ask me how I'm doing and all that. And the women on the internet are telling me I'm a horrible human being because I exist. I'm just like, okay. Oh, thank you, social circle. women aren't so bad, and they like me too. Now, maybe not romantically, maybe not sexually, but they like you. Their eyes light up when they see you, and they give you a big hug. Right? It's the closest thing to having a sister that you can. And I think as a guy in today's age, you need that. You need a girl once in a while that kind of shows you that um that the women on the internet saying this crazy stuff are outliers or hurt or just, just femcells, girls that will never figure it out, girls that will be single forever or not unable to hold on to a relationship longer than they can, longer than maybe 6 months or a year, and all that. So yeah. All right, Bobby Tron with the $2. Thank you, sir. You get one of these.
Thank you so much, best friend.
Bobby Trauma with the $2 W. Thank you, sir. Yes, the show is a W. All right. That's the secret benefit of social circle. Secret benefit of Tinder is usually the anonymity. You get to see and get to know women up front. It's the anonymity that makes online dating so awesome. And this is why I say Twitter, I once said that Twitter is a dating app, but I rescinded that. Twitter can never be a dating app because there's no discretion. And that is what marks a dating app, is discretion. Right? Imagine this. A girl from a very strict, maybe Asian parents, who's always expected her to date men of her own race, or a white guy that's very successful. Right? And she just has a thing for brown men. And, she has a very involved family and social life and all that stuff. And she values her reputation. But she has a thing. She saw, maybe she saw a movie with Michael B. Jordan in it, and she's like, damn, I want some of that. And she matches with the guy, and she drives down to downtown Dallas and has a date, goes well. And now she, I know this is probably against the whole morality, like women are becoming slow and all that stuff, right? But on my side of the world, where I just go for what I want, I don't care what people think, and you guys should think like that too, regardless of who you are. That's great. The anonymity serves you, right? Yes, women are becoming sluttier and all that stuff, but at the same time, why not be on the receiving end of that sluttiness instead of the barking morality end where you get nothing, right? So yeah, anonymity is the best part of dating apps, and that's why people are like, "Oh, Twitter is the next dating app." I'm like, it's not. It's not. There's no discretion. Women are freaking posting conversations left and right, and it's more important for them the clout than it is to meet a person, right? So it's not. It's never going to be a dating app as long as you can screenshot conversations. It's never going to be a dating app, right? So yeah, and then for a cold approach. The secret, I would say, it gives you the mentality. Man, this is a pretty awesome thing that mental model has helped me a lot. You are alone in your dating problems. You are by yourself. Guys think that we need to come together and solve this problem together and hold women accountable or change the world, change the laws, repeal the 19th, whatever. And that's never going to happen. Men don't function that way. Men are not like that. Women have a sisterhood where they kind of check in with all each other. They're creatures of consensus. Men are not. Men are creatures of hierarchy. Who's the most competent, who's the least competent, and then organize in between. For when you deal with your girl problems, getting them, having sex with them, marrying them, leaving them, whatever, you are alone in those moments. There is no one there to help you. No one can put a radio in your head or a earpiece to tell you what to say next. Although that's probably coming down the pipe one day too. You are alone. And when you cold approach or talk to women by yourself out and about, you realize two things. That if the interaction goes well, nobody cared. If the interaction goes bad, nobody cared. So it puts you into the mentality that ultimately, guys, women are for you to enjoy privately. They are for you. They're not to show off to other men. Look how awesome I am because I bagged a girl that looks okay. That looks good. They're not for you to use as branding tools for your brand. I mean, obviously, I could post. I have videos and pictures of chicks that I had fun with, partying and all that stuff. I could put that on the timeline. And I do sometimes, very rarely, but that's not the point here. The point isn't I'm awesome. The point is let's figure this out. It's an educational channel. And I think I've done enough work and spoken enough words to kind of show people that I know what I'm talking about without having to show pictures of girls in a selfie with me somewhere, right? But that's the best part about approaching women alone and getting rejected. Nobody cares. You're on your own, and that's a beautiful thing because now that you're on your own, um, you become self-reliant. You don't have to go to the internet and be like, yeah, debate that crazy OnlyFans chick and show her a lesson. You can be like, man, what do I got to do to bang a chick like that? Because no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to be like, hey, dude, we're passing a law to make sure women do this. And I'm like, never gonna happen. And if it does, it's gonna be, it's gonna be war. It's such a uphill battle to get women to let go of the power they have. So you're alone, and that's a good thing, and that's a healthy thing. You don't want any man to help you hold your hand through this. However, you might need a guy to like spread some light on something, or you might need a guy to tell you an opener or tell you, hey, what do I do in this specific situation? What do you think? But those guys don't come from a place of authority or teamwork. They come from a place of, hey, just trading notes to come to a solution. And that is what all the cold approaching women in public, whatever you want to call it, that is what it gives you. It gives you that self-reliance, emotional self-reliance. So guys that have trouble with women go to the internet and they say they're mad and they rely on the internet for their opinion, their friends, like bitches ain't shit or whatever. But and when you become self-reliant and you take a rejection to the chin, there's nowhere to turn to, dude. No one cares. The internet may care a little bit if it, if it solves their ego investments or if it confirms their ego investments. But you're on your own, and you have to deal with that burning sense of rejection and that like low self-worth you feel for the couple minutes, hopefully minutes, hours, hopefully not days, minutes or hours after the rejection, and you have to feel it, and and then it just slowly goes away, slips away. And guess what? That is what's called internalizing the red pill and game and all that stuff. It's being self-reliant, not having to always validate the way you feel with the internet. It is your own mental point of origin. Who am I? If a girl rejects me, am I a loser? No. It doesn't mean anything. If a girl rejects me and I feel bad, is that okay? Yes, it's okay to feel bad. You're a human being. But because you're a human being, you have to understand she is also a human being. She has her own biological drives. She may have a boyfriend. She may have so many things going on. You don't have any idea. And once you internalize this, you'll see that 80 to 90% of the content that masks itself as red pill or dating is a waste of time because they focus on that part, the not getting it part. The, hey, if a girl says this on the internet, you better get mad. It's all over. And you're just like, I don't know, dude. I approached a bunch of girls over the last couple months and they rejected me, but some said yes. I don't, and girls that look like that too. Like it's not a chopped man epidemic, but man, they I had sex with a girl that looks like that. Like I don't feel like she is representing my experience or anything like that. I don't get it. And guys, that's the whole point of this, right? It's to avoid having to be there. So, yeah. All right. So ultimately, guys, the best thing to do is what works. If dating apps work, then do that. If social circle works for you, do that. You can mix and match. Personal recommendation, mix and match, right? If you're out doing something by yourself and you see a cute girl walk by and she looks, say hi. What's gonna happen? Nothing. Even if you're not good at approaching women in public, just say hi. Have a conversation. If you're at a social circle, right? Introduce yourself. Oh, I'm sorry, you're new. I haven't spoken to you yet. What's your name? Okay, cool. Um, if you're on dating apps, realize you're not burning any calories. You're just, and if you get a date off a dating app, just have fun. You can mix and match. And I don't say like oh, I do 90% this or 80%. Like, no, just situationally. Sorry. Maybe there's a couple weeks where you have a lot of outings with friends and you have a social circle now. Maybe focus on that for a little bit. Maybe you're hard at work and you have to be home all the time. You don't have time to socialize. So you use dating apps and you're like, hey, I'm free on Friday at this time. I'm a busy man. And then you take care of your needs that way. And maybe you are off from work and you're just at home all the time and you're like injured like me. So you're like, hey, I'm just going to go out and talk to some girls. I want to go to the coffee shop today and talk to one girl. Right. So, yeah, mix and match like the Domino's deal. Yeah, exactly. Like the Domino's deal. Yeah. So, yeah. Cool. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much all I have on this topic. Unless you guys had more questions or anything like that you guys wanted to add. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had on this topic. Uh, see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. Uh, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Mm, yeah. So, how you guys have any questions for me? Anything you guys want to talk about or anything? Super chat me if you would be so kind. I appreciate the super chats. You guys the chat has been really good today. I appreciate you guys. Um, all this is all this information is in one of my latest Substack articles. So now I've written 82 Substack articles at this point. So I can reference my own work. And guys, they're not super long, in depth Substack articles, but it's enough to kind of like get you thinking in the right direction, and all that. So yeah. Hold on. All right. Subtle signs of attraction most men miss. I think most men miss the proximity, right? I think proximity is women's like most obvious and strongest move for so if you're at a pool party, if you're at a social event, if you're outside, women that want to be approached will purposefully put themselves in your orbit. They'll become closer. As you get if you notice, if you pay attention, you'll see that and you'll be like, whoa, I didn't see it till now. And you see like, wow, treat women moving closer to you as them shooting their shot. That is how women shoot their shot. Right. Yes, there's be women that looking at you across the bar far away, or women that DM you saying, hey, you look good, handsome today. But really the IOIs that matter, yes, some IOIs are bigger than others. They're not all the same. But I think the first one you should always look for is she putting herself close to me? Right. Her friends are over there, but she's just walking, meandering around me. What's going on? It's because she wants you to talk to her. Right. Women really do not like approaching first. It's not within them. They hate it. But proximity is how women approach you first. So yeah, that's a subtle sign. And obviously, there's the preening of the hair. There's the um, uh, touching you. I've had women bump into me at the club or something because they wanted me to talk to them and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, that's really the most important. And then after that, most important IOI or only thing that I care about after a conversation is, do you want to be alone with me at some point? And because when you're alone with a woman, that's her implying that, hey, my destiny is in your hands. If you say the right things, I will sleep with you. So yeah. Any other questions, guys? Hold on one second. So, trying to think if there's any like announcements. No, I'm just gonna keep writing. I'm getting close to the end. 17 more articles, 16 more articles. Um, I'm realizing that this book I'm going to release is going to be pretty long. Most self-help books are anything from 40,000 to 60,000 words, and I think I might write like 40, like I'm at 70,000 words or something like that. So we'll see. We got Dark Knight Dev. What's up, sir? How you doing? I care less about contacting and text messages and more about getting her in front of me and being alone with me, like you said. Yeah, like Dark Knight Dev. I don't get Zoomer vibes off you. You seem a little bit more mature, but a lot of the younger generation, they celebrate too early. They're like, "Oh, you got a girl's number. That's true, Riz." I'm like, really? Some girls reject you by giving them their number. They're like, "Let me give them the number fast. That way he'll leave me alone." You have no idea. Some guys will say, "Oh, it's Riz," when um, you say something smooth to her in public and she laughs. I'm like, great, dude. Like, none of that converts to sex. I want to get laid and I want to be alone with this woman at some point. So when you focus on, is she allowing me to be alone with her? Then she is trying to communicate to you like, hey, I trust you enough to be in this context alone with you, and I'm putting the ball in your court. And as you go on, it's like you get more and more alone, right? Like you meet her at first and she breaks away from her friends a little bit. She's effectively alone because her friends are somewhere else in the vicinity and not there. And then you get her on a date. She is way farther away from anyone she knows and she's in front of you, but there's still people around, but she's alone with you. There's no one that she knows around. And then your bedroom or your house, she's alone. Like there's just you two and nobody else is watching. And that's what it's like. You're isolating her more and more and more. And the PUA's talked about this, but in the terms of a date, it's just like, you know, yeah. And guys, we're all gonna get flaked on and rejected. Like no one's special. None of us are so special that every girl's gonna say yes. No one. Right. But at the same time, what all that matters, like when like if a girl says, man, you're so handsome and hot, and you're just like, mm-hmm, yeah. You want to go to the other side of the bar and have a drink? Oh, no, I can't. I can't leave my friends. Oh, well, can I get your number? Sure. And then you text her, hey, let's go on a date. I don't know. Like, that compliment meant nothing. It was a waste of your time, right? That's why I say the only IOI that matters is a girl being alone with you. That is her through actions saying, hey, I want you to lead me. And I'm open to suggestion. So, yeah. I must admit, I'm more black pilled, but this is all solid knowledge, no lies spoken. Hey, thanks, man. Don't worry, we'll get you back. We'll get you back. We'll get you back to the light side of the force. But yeah. Oh, and Dark Knight Dead, thanks for being a member, man. For 9 months, awesome. I appreciate that. I wish I had more member related stuff to give you guys. But back to work, so I'm gonna have a little bit less time to stream. So there's that, and yeah. Trying to think of what else. What else to mention? I don't know. But anyways, guys, it was a great show today. I appreciate all the questions and all that stuff. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking about this topic. I already said what I had to say. You guys have a good night, and maybe tomorrow. I haven't checked my schedule for tomorrow, but maybe tomorrow I can give you guys a Q&A. I really want to talk about that spat that Patrick Bet David and Adam Salsnick had on Valuetainment. Not because I care about drama, it's because it is a reflection of the generational disconnect between about how we do dating and the realities we have to face. And I think it's a very important conversation because I think all of us have tried to explain to our parents, to older people on the internet, whoever, that this shit is different than what you experienced. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys' time today. I appreciate the super chats. As long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep doing this. And I'll talk to you guys later.